All right, what is good, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Extra Point podcast. I am your host, Javi, coming to y'all with another reaction video. This time, I will be reacting to the Washington Commanders trading for Marshon Lattimore. Um, I just want to give y'all my initial reactions. I have not read up on the trade as far as the compensation goes and whatnot. So, um, yeah, I just want to put my initial reactions on videos and see what we gave up for uh, Marshawn Lattimore, what we got back, and then we'll just kind of go from there. We'll listen to Ian Rappaport lay out the details, and then I will chime in here and there. Um, just FYI, I will be interjecting in the video mainly because I want to talk about some of the stuff that they say, but also it prevents the video from being copyrighted. So that is kind of some of the reasons. So bear with me if I do interrupt the video here and there. Excuse me. Okay.
The NFL Network newsroom, where we have some breaking news just a few hours out from the NFL trade deadline. Marshon Lattimore has a new home. The four-time Pro Bowl cornerback being traded from the New Orleans Saints to the Washington Commanders, who for the first time in quite a while, Ian, are not sellers but buyers at the trade deadline.
The Jaden Daniels window is wide open for the Commanders, and they swing a big-time trade. Here are the details. It is multi-year Pro Bowler Marshon Lattimore, whose name has been included in trade discussions. It seems, Tom, for more than a year, he now goes from the New Orleans Saints to the Washington Commanders.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to kind of react to what the host said there real quick, that for the first time in a while, we are buyers, not sellers. Because before this season, before Adam Peters, we were the team that were selling all our merchandise, that was selling all our goods to other teams. You know, you have you have last year Montez Sweat. You have Chase Young. You know, these are good players that we traded. Obviously, we understood why, but you know, when you're a good team, you don't have to do that, right? You go out and look for players to reinforce and bolster your already successful team. So, and that's what you kind of see with recent trades before the deadline. You have the Ravens, who obviously we know first class organization. Coach Harbaugh is there. You know, they do business the right way. They have a winning record. They're always in contention. They're always in the playoffs. And you just saw that they went and got Tre'Davious White. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I'm just saying, as an example, that teams like that try to make moves to add to a already good roster to prepare them for late season runs and postseason runs, to have that roster ready to go for those scenarios where you know the games matter. Another example: the Kansas City Chiefs went out and got DeAndre Hopkins about a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago. I don't remember the exact date, but you all know what I'm saying. They, you know, they're doing business to try to, you know, add to their roster and not lag off and be ready for that postseason. So, you know, teams like that, first class organizations, that's what they do. The Steelers as well. They just got Preston Smith, a former Redskins, former Commander. You know, they just went and got him from the Packers. You know, we know what Preston Smith brings to the running game and the pass rushing game. So, you know, all of those teams are teams that are winning right now, successful, that have winning records, and that are looking for the future as far as this season, you know, the late weeks, and having the roster ready to compete in the postseason. So I love the trade.
Here are the terms New Orleans gets: a third-round pick, a 4th-round pick,
Okay.
and a future 6 that was from the Hassan Ridgway trade. Meanwhile, Washington gets Marshon Lattimore, who is a great player with a very low salary, and a 2025 5th-rounder. That is the full terms of the trade. My understanding is there are several teams in the mix, including the Kansas City Chiefs, including the Baltimore Ravens. There were a couple other teams, but the reality is the Commanders came in with a bigger offer than all of it. It was close, but the Commanders came in with a bigger offer. And, for the...
So, as you heard Ian Rappaport state the details of the trade, we gave up a 3rd, a 4th, and we got Marshon Lattimore and give me one sec, and a 6th-round pick. Let me see what he said.
With a bigger offer than all of it. It was close, but the Commanders, more Ravens. There were a couple other teams, including the Kansas City Chiefs, including the Baltimore Ravens. There were a couple other teams, but the reality is the Commanders came in with a bigger offer than all of it. It was close, but the Commanders came in with a bigger offer. And, for the New Orleans Saints, I know it wasn't going to be a fire sale, but there were players that had big-time value. No 25 5th-rounder. That is the full terms of the trade. My understanding is there are several...
Okay, so we got... Oh, my God.
2025 5th-rounder. That was from the Hassan Ridgway Commanders. Here are the terms. New Orleans gets a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and a future 6 that was from the Hassan Ridgway trade. Meanwhile, Washington gets Marshon.
Okay, so we give up a 3rd, a 4th, and a future 6th-round pick. Future 6th-round pick. And my bad for backtracking the video. I just want to make sure that I get the correct details. So, and then we get Marshon Lattimore and a 5th-round pick. Now it is my understanding, correct, some of y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, please do, that we still have the 3rd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick left for this year's draft. And I'm not sure if it was one that was already, that was rightfully ours, or if it was a 3rd-round pick that came from the Jahan Dotson trade. So if one of y'all knows that information, please put it in the comments. Let me know.
Marshon Lattimore, who is a great player with a very low salary, and a 2025 5th-rounder. That is the full terms of the trade. My understanding is there are several teams in the mix, including the Kansas City Chiefs, including the Baltimore Ravens. There were a couple other teams, but the reality is the Commanders came in with a bigger offer than all of it. It was close, but the Commanders came in with a bigger offer. And, for the New Orleans Saints, I know it wasn't going to be a fire sale, but there were players that had big-time value. No one had more value than Lattimore. He clashed at times with Coach Dennis Allen, was in and out of the lineup. I know it was someone teams have been calling about for a year or so, and now he lands with the Commanders in a huge piece for their defense.
Yeah, huge indeed. Huge piece for our defense. If you all look at the videos in my channel of the reaction videos that I've made analyzing the team, reaction videos to the games that we've been a part of this season, one of my biggest critiques has been the passing defense, because we've been getting cooked. We got cooked against the Giants, by Daniel Jones. We got cooked against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Malik Neighbors went off against us, and so it's just something that has occurred, and something that needed to be addressed. Unfortunately, although Sanders still and Forbes have been getting better, I think this is an upgrade by far. And Marshon Lattimore is a dog. He is a All-Pro. He is a 4-time Pro Bowler. He is a shutdown corner, somebody that you can put on the other team's best receiver and put him on an island and be confident in that. Marshon Lattimore will, at the very least, compete against that, against that other team's best receiver. So I thought it was a great pick. A great trade, excuse me.
Marshon Lattimore also has dealt with a lot of injuries. Ian, he's had hamstring problems throughout the recent years here, including missing some time earlier this season. But when he has been on the field, he has been something that is highly valuable to teams, which is a lockdown style corner who can be trusted to play man coverage. Now he goes over to Dan Quinn's defense, a group that to this point, Ian, has played at a pretty high level. I don't think that other teams look at the Washington roster, particularly on defense, and say they're extremely talented. Marshon Lattimore not only potentially is in line to get a new contract after this season with the Washington Commanders, but also for a team right now that sits atop the NFC East division, he's a guy who can make a difference.
Yeah, and if you're Washington, I think most people looked at that roster at the beginning of the year and were like, you know what?
Okay, just to recap, we give up a 2025 third round pick, 2025 fourth round pick, and then a 2025 sixth back from Hassan Ridgeway trade. Okay, so then we get Marshon Lattimore and a 2025 fifth round pick.
They could use some help, maybe some tinkering, maybe a year away, and then you get Jaden Daniels in there, and he is excellent and probably the rookie of the year, and all of a sudden, they are one of the best teams in the NFL, and it is time to get a little bit better. And, I'm now having general managers, rival general managers around the league text me what a great trade this is for Washington. That's a very good sign. Now, I would say for the Saints, moving on from Lattimore, it's not easy. And it's never really something you want to do because it generally means your team is going in the wrong direction. But, a lot of eyes now on the future for the Saints. It obviously fired Dennis Allen. Yesterday's season has not been what you wanted. Collecting future assets, moving on from players who probably weren't going to be here anyway, is a very good thing for Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans Saints as well. So trades can work for both sides. One team gets a great player, Tom. The other team gets to basically move on and look to the future. It has been a somewhat crazy day so far.
Yeah, so I'll end the video there as far as the Ian Rappaport video. But as he mentioned, other GMs, called him or let him know that this was a great pick by Adam Peters. And so, it just goes to show the respect and also just the smarts that Adam Peters brings to our front office. And it is great that Adam Peters is in our franchise and running that football operations aspect of the franchise. We are blessed to have him. That 6th round pick, that's what we got for Hassan Ridgeway, the defensive tackle who we picked up last year off of waivers. And we traded him or I believe we picked him up from somebody's practice squad, and we traded him this season. Adam Peters traded him to the Saints because we already had so much depth at the defensive tackle position. So just another great trade. We kind of give him back. So really, we only gave up, technically, we only gave up a third and a fourth, and that 6 was originally already the Saints. So, gotta give props to Adam Peters for, he's just a chemist in the lab. He puts these trades together, with intelligence and with purpose. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs to do to get it to get the best move available for our franchise. And so it's good to have him leading this organization. So all right, guys, let me know what you all think in the comments. I will try to make more reaction videos like this. Let me know any topics that you all want me to cover as far as reaction videos. I'll try to incorporate the video and then me reacting to it. So please let me know. You all have a good night.